This is a podcast about one woman's mission to help entrepreneurs and business owners write better business books. Each week, we tackle your writing excuses, because there are excuses too, and help you beat the blank page of doom so that you can write the book that'll grow your life and your business. Now here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Hello, and welcome to the 1000 Authors Show. I'm Vicky Fraser, and this is my husband, Joe.
Hello.
Today, we're not drinking anything because we are really disorganised.
Just a woeful lack of preparation, really.
Woeful lack of preparation. And also, we're about to enter a carb coma.
Yes, we had a really carby lunch.
It was an experiment, but it worked.
Yeah, it was kind of a... Well, it wasn't a carbonara, really, was it?
It was a fakenara. It was a, demi-pasta tubes. They're like hula hoops. They're like pasta hula hoops. And then we had bacon, which is the most amazing thing in the world, and tomatoes from our garden, and mushrooms, and cream, and... Cheese.
It's very nice.
It's very nice, but it was a little bit like I might be asleep in half an hour.
Yes.
Which is a problem, because I've got a client's coaching call soon.
Nice.
I will be awake. So welcome to the 1000 Authors Show. Today, we're going to be talking about how to research like a nerd.
Wait. Hang on a minute. What happened to writing excuses?
Oh, we're done.
We're done.
Yeah, with no fanfare at all. We're finished.
Just slid right off the end of that.
Slid right off the end of that. Today we're talking about how to research like a nerd, because I think a lot of people, me included in the past, waste a lot of time on research when they could be writing. But before we get to that, Joe, what are you reading?
Well, in a very controversial, change of the times, I am not reading The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan or Brandon. I'm reading The Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler, which is a book that you have basically put on my bedside table and said, you're going to read this.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Have you got anything else to say about it other than those 4 words?
It's kind of a dystopian, post-apocalyptic, well, it's sort of...
Mid-apocalyptic.
Mid-apocalyptic, yeah. The world is falling apart, society is coming to pieces, politics isn't working.
No, politics isn't right now. It's set in the very near future.
Yeah, it's only 5 years away.
And it does feel kind of like it could be plausible.
But yeah, there's a lot of starving people and walls going up around little enclaves and, people looking after themselves and...
Other people trying to kill them.
And other people trying to get in.
Yeah. So yes, that's what you're reading. Yay, hurrah, welcome, well done for not reading The Wheel of Time.
I mean, I've got 2 Wheel of Time books to get to. And they're going on my Kindle and I'm going to read them.
Fine, that's fine.
I'm going to have to. I can't read 12 out of 14 books and then just stop.
You can, it's a sunk cost fallacy. Anyway, I'm reading at the moment False Value by Ben Aronovich in the Rivers of London series, which is all about a guy who's a police officer and he's also a wizard, and his division deals with all the weird shit.
Oh, well, it must be one of a sequence then.
Yes.
Read
You've read one of them.
Read one of them, yeah.
Yeah, it's Peter. I can't remember his surname. Anyway, but yeah, they're really good. They're good. I like them because they're like a little bit of a cross between Neil Gaiman's kind of Neverwhere kind of world and Terry Pratchett's kind of, Discordy type thing. So yeah, it's good. And non-fiction, I am reading I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, which is really good and really practical. And I've already done a load of stuff, like paid off 2.5 grand worth of debt last week. Felt quite impressed with myself for doing that.
Are we rich yet?
Yes.
Excellent.
And as for the Quarantine Chronicles, what have we been up to? Well, one of our tiny sheeps is a bad sheep.
Yeah, he probably put the frighteners on you, didn't he?
Properly put the frighteners on me. He full-on attacked me, and I had to hit him in the face with a dustbin, which sounds a lot worse than it is. It was like a really lightweight plastic black dustbin.
Nevertheless, he got it to the face.
Well, he mostly got it to the horn, to be honest. But yeah, it's like, that is one of the things that basically people advise you to do is, don't take a sheep to the knees, because that's going to do you some damage. And just kind of, you have to let him know that he's boss. And now he and I don't really get on anymore.
That's a shame.
I know, we're going to fix it though. Yeah.
Maybe we should just go up there and read books in the sheep field.
Yeah. I think we're going to have to. Yeah, the pair of them. Because he sees you as the boss and he sees me as somebody to headbutt. And yeah, by the way, if anyone is worried, there's no way that you can hurt a sheep with a lightweight plastic bin. It was basically like I was holding it out in front of me. so that he didn't headbutt me.
And also, about 80% of a sheep's design is all focused around hitting things with its head.
Yeah. Honestly, you should see the way Picard and Koenig nut each other. It's really alarming, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can hear it from like all the way in the house. So it's like, what on earth is that? It's like Picard and Koenig just knocking bells out of each other.
Smashing lumps out of each other's skulls.
Yeah. So yes, that's been... And then there's been more animal shenanigans. Cat piss in my office,
Ugh.
which I can smell now.
Nice.
Yeah. Some shitty neighbourhood cat that we call the bad cat that bullies our cats. It's been in my office and pissed on my floor. So I am deeply unhappy and deeply unimpressed with that. But finally, good stuff. I am back on the trapeze.
Nice.
Which is really cool. And now my entire body aches. So that's fun. And yeah. And shall we talk about research then?
We probably should, given that that's what the podcast is about.
Yes. So I keep getting asked questions about research, or I was asked the other day, and it kind of came in the form of I keep getting stuck in a research wormhole.
Okay.
And it occurs to me that people struggle with this, because I have struggled with this in the past. Do you struggle with research wormholes, Joe?
I often find that there's either so much information you can't pass it into something that's useful, or there's no information and you are clearly using the wrong words to find things. And so I tend to be one or the other. And too much information is bad, because then you just start wandering off and trying to find more refinement, and then before long you're looking on Reddit or something daft, and it's chaos after that.
Yeah. So today we're going to help you to not get sucked into cat videos, or learning about the inner workings of strawberries because you happen to see a reference when you were looking for information about aviation fuel, for instance.
Okay. That's the thing, right?
What?
Did that happen to you?
Well, maybe not that exact thing.
Oh, okay.
But thank you for ruining my cool story. But you know what it's like? You're researching one thing and then you suddenly find yourself researching something completely unrelated.
Yes.
Yeah. That was my point.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, well, I think we've made it nice and succinctly and not drifted off in any way, shape or form.
Okay, so...
Strawberries, right?
Strawberries. So, when you're writing a book, how do you divide your time effectively between writing and research? Good question.
Good question, Vic.
Thanks. Well, it wasn't my question. But
Okay.
Thank you. So yeah, a solid big idea and a decent outline is absolutely crucial. That is a good start. Your outline may change as you write, and that is fine, but you do have to start somewhere. So let's at least get your big idea and the other thing, the things that you're going to talk about in your book. Let's get that nailed down. Mm-hmm. So that said, I have 7 things to consider to help you research more effectively and efficiently.
Okay.
So let's run through them, and let's stop me from starting sentences with so.
How should we do that?
I don't know, like water pistol to the face every time I do it. Thing 1. As you are writing your outline or your notes for your section or chapter or whatever, and this works, by the way, not just for writing books, but for articles and blog posts and things as well. So as you are writing your outline, note down where you need to do more research. Mm-hmm. So you might already know a bunch of stuff, that's cool. You might have already done some research and you've got it all there. But if you're kind of writing notes for your piece, your article, or your chapter or whatever, and you're like, oh, I need to do more research on that, just make a note now of what you need to write. Don't immediately drift off on a research mission.
Because then you never finish your outline and you're short.
Yep. So get that done first.
So do you have like a document somewhere, current things I need to research? Or do you like use a particular color highlighter on the document you're working on? Or how do you kind of file that as research needing doing and then move on?
That's a good question. So I write in Scrivener, but this same applies if you're writing in like Word or Pages or Google Docs or whatever. And if I've got a bit where I'm like, oh, I need more information, I will highlight it, like virtual highlight it, and then drop a comment in and it just says, I need to research blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So that is how I do it. If I'm writing an outline on paper, I'll get my highlighter pen out and just be like, I need to research this, and I'll just kind of stick it in a bullet point or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, be really clear about that. Thing number 2, be really clear on what you need to research. So not just like bees, But, for example, how to keep bees from getting parasites in the hive. And not just, I want to know more about headlines, but what are the most compelling words to use in headlines, for example. So be really specific about what you are wanting to research. Because otherwise, you'll just research everything. And
Broad topics, no good to you.
Broad topics are no good. So, and this should come out of, so you might be like, oh, I'm writing a chapter on bees, and you think, okay, so I need to research bees. That's kind of fine for before you get your bullet points down for what you want to include in this chapter on bees. But then when you've got your like outline of what
this is like we're talking here about the 10% that you don't know.
Yes.
This isn't your educative learning everything you need to know. This is when you've got 90% of what you need and there's a bit more that you need to research.
Exactly. So yeah, be really clear on what you need to research. Thing number 3, head for your bookshelf before you head for Google. Because that will keep you from disappearing down a wormhole of cat videos. So yeah, head for your bookshelf. Have you got a book on the subject that you want to write about? I bloody hope so, because if you're writing about something within your field of study, I would hope that you have books on that topic. So yeah, go have a look on your bookshelf, find the book that's talking about this topic, and then use the index and the table of contents. Do not read entire chapters, because again, that's like the offline equivalent of getting sucked into a YouTube wormhole. You don't need the entire chapter. So start with the table of contents, and if you've got like a chapter on, beehives, for example, I'm on a bee topic here, beehives, then you still want to know about parasites. So you would then, you might have a quick skim of that chapter, like a super quick skim, as in look at the subheadings. But I would then go to the index and search for the specific word that you want to know about. And just go and have a look at every single one of them. And then get a little sticky note and stick a sticky note on each page that has something useful on it. Don't just be like, oh, I just need to read all of these pages. It might, like, one of them might be a throwaway reference to parasites, for example. But if you've got like a big chunk that's like, oh, this is really useful, then you can just sticky note it. And you might have 2 or 3 of those throughout the book. And then you can come back and you can like pop back and forward between it if you need to. So that was thing number 3. Thing number 4, you are now allowed to go on the internet. So yeah, use Google intelligently. Would you like to join in?
I'm happy to. Ask specific questions. Then limit yourself to page 1 of the search results. Open no more than 3 tabs at once. And if one of them is no good, go back to the search results and get another. Yeah.
So I'm going to explain that a little bit. If you have to go beyond page 1 of the search results, you probably haven't put a particularly good search term in. And I say that as somebody who is really not very good at searching for search terms. I sometimes don't even know what question to ask Google, which is really frustrating. So this does take a bit of practice. Make sure that, again, we're going back to being really specific. Ask a specific question of the internet. If you have to open more than 1 page, then probably you want to go back and refine the question that you're asking Google.
Yes. As an aside, it's worth learning some of the tricks to make Google do the things you want it to do.
Ooh, have you got any tips on that?
Well, like you can search specific sites. So you don't have to say, dear internet, tell me about bee parasites. You can say, dear beekeeping UK, tell me about bee parasites.
You can. Yeah, and you can do that. So you type in like beekeeping UK and then is it colon? And
it's
then
site colon.
Site colon and then? Site
and then the search terms.
Okay.
And then there's, things like putting stuff in speech marks and not putting things in speech marks. There's a whole bunch of them. Do your own research, but there's lots of sheets out there that'll tell you how to make Google be more specific than just trawl the whole internet for you.
Yeah, that's a really good tip. Thank you for that. So yeah, once you've got your search results, your page of decent search results, pick the top 3, for example, or have a quick skim, see which ones look like they're going to be the best for you. Open 3 separate tabs and no more than 3 tabs, because otherwise your head will explode. And then have a quick look at what's in those tabs. Have a quick skim of it. Does it look like the information in there is going to be any good? If not, then close it, go back to your search results and open another tab. Once you've got those 3 tabs, then we come to thing number 5.
Okay.
Which is, once you've opened those pages, skim them quickly. Is the information that you need there? Is it well referenced? So the information that you need might be like just mentioned, and then there's a reference to another article or something. If there is a reference to another article, go find the original source.
Yeah.
Don't just quote like ad infinitum of something that's been, changed and Chinese whispered. Go see if you can get to the original source and use the original source, and then close the other tab because you don't need it. So yeah, I'm basically trying to stop you from getting overwhelmed with too many things open on your computer and to research at the same time, because that is a surefire way for me to just not get enough done.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you got anything to add to that?
I would say when you are picking the things off your page one of Google, if you're not clear the difference between promoted stuff and unpromoted stuff, then I think that's something you need to know. You need to be able to distinguish between the two.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean that promoted stuff isn't worth referencing, because sometimes it will be, but you just need to be aware of it.
You need to be aware of it. You need to be aware of the what are the motives of the person who has put this on the internet for you.
Yeah.
If they're just trying to wrangle some cash out of you, then maybe this is not the article you're looking for.
No. And, that, again, it depends on who you're looking for, because people like me will always aim to put the best information that they can out there, because I want people to have, I don't want to just get cash out of people. I want people to make the best decision for them. And so people who are doing that their information will be fine, but you've got to kind of get to know them a bit first before. Yeah. So like Joe said, there are sites that I will search for specific information about specific topics, and they're people that I trust. So if I was looking for information on habits, the first person that I would go to would be James Clear, because he is like Mr. Habits. He's the habit expert, and his stuff is really good, and he's ethical and all the rest of it. So yeah, that's a really good point as well. I had another thought, then I can't remember what it is. Oh, Wikipedia. If you are really struggling to find information, there is people really slag off Wikipedia. And if you're just going to quote Wikipedia, then that's fair enough. Don't do that. But Wikipedia is one of the reasons Wikipedia is great is because it has lists of references and academic papers and things.
It's a brilliant aggregator.
It's a really good aggregator. So, use Wikipedia. If you're stuck, if Google is not helping you and you can't find what to look for, have a look at Wikipedia. And finally, my final Google tip is you can search for news sources, and also you can search for academic research papers as well, specifically in Google. So if you're looking for academic or scientific research, you can search that. I think there's a tab, isn't there? I need to bloody open it now and have a look. So if you're
this is great radio.
Help me with bees. Okay, so when you've got your results, you've got all, and you can search images, shopping, videos, news. More, we've got maps, books, flights, finance. I'm pretty sure there used to be a research or an academia there, or maybe it depends on what you're searching for. But yeah, news is sometimes good, although it might give you just Rupert Murdoch until your eyes explode. So be careful about that as well. Thing number 6 follows on from thing number 5. Once you've got your browser tabs open, go offline and use your browser in offline mode.
Okay.
Turn Wi-Fi off, because then you can't get distracted. It's like if you've got your research ready and you're like, okay, I've got my research here. One of my big problems is that I'll be like, oh, that looks really interesting. I'll just open that tab and I'll open that tab and I'll open that tab, and then an hour's gone by and I know all about aviation fuel and nothing about strawberries. So I don't really research aviation fuel. And then thing number 7, and this is probably one of the most important things, is set yourself a time limit for your research. So I would say a maximum of 30 to 60 minutes for each topic.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that that's all the research that you're going to do, but for each research session, set yourself a 30 to 60 minute time limit. And after that, start writing. And then if you still need to do more research after that, that's cool. Okay. Make a note of what you need to research and repeat the process that we've just done. You're going to do
specific research rather than more general research, yeah.
Yeah, but basically I want you to get writing them, because the problem that my client was having was, I keep not writing and just researching. And it's like, when do you know when to stop? And this process will help you know when to stop as well, because you carry on writing until you can't write anymore without doing more research. And once you don't need to do any more research in one of these little processes that we've just talked about, then that will help. It stops you getting sucked into write research panic.
Yeah.
So, and then just repeat as appropriate. So have you got any more research tips to add to that?
Oh gosh. No, I kind of gave my all at the Google skills thing. Sorry.
Google foo. Your Google foo is strong.
It's not great, but it does stop you, finding out about bee parasites in the Serengeti when you're actually interested about bee parasites in Kent.
Yeah.
So
that is my 7 things to help you research effectively and efficiently. 7 things to help you research like a nerd.
I really like the set a time limit, because you're there for a purpose. You're trying to get some information. You're trying to get out. and get back to the thing you're really trying to do, which is write your article or your book or whatever. I think that's really important. Otherwise, all of a sudden it's dinner time, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you've just blown an afternoon on God knows what.
This is my pleased face that Joe's like, oh, that's a really good idea. And I'm like, oh, thanks. So yeah, what's the takeaway, Joe?
Have a plan for researching, and have that as strict as you would have a plan for writing.
Yeah, so I think that's really important.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So that's it. We're done. So, we've got a review though.
Review.
A review from Jerry Berry Merry.
Hello, Jerry Berry Merry.
This is from November the 4th, 2018. A little while ago.
That's a while back.
I know. And it was a 5-star review. Do you want to read it, Joe?
5 stars. Love Vicky and her work. She helped me pull my business from mediocre to mega. Together with Joe, their podcast is entertaining and informative for anyone swimming in the infested waters of small business. Take a dive with Vicky and she'll show you the way.
I will definitely show you the way of writing books and using them in your business.
Nice.
Yeah, because my focus has changed since then.
That's a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry Berry Merry.
Thank you, Jerry Berry Merry.
Hi. If you would like to have your name read out on the podcast, then you could leave us a review as well. We would really like that. You could go to iTunes and subscribe and leave us a review and share it. If you know somebody who will enjoy this, send them to moxiebooks.co.uk/podcast. And you can also, if you've listened to every episode, you lunatic.
Yeah, crazy person.
Email me with your postal address and I will send you something silly to say thank you. And finally, put all of this research into action and actually write your damn book or your article or whatever it is that you want to write every morning with me and my Moxie writers in my live writing sessions, which is the Moxie Writers Power Hour.
Nice.
And it is fantastic. And at the moment, you can get 7 days for £1. £1. £1.
moxiebooks.co.uk/power hour.
And they're really good fun. And we spend an hour writing and then we have a 15-minute discussion, or you can ask questions and we'll answer questions, or I will do a little lesson. For example, in this morning's Power Hour, I did a really quick, super quick crash course in how to write headlines. So yeah, interesting, useful stuff. And quite often it's other people discussing. And so you get lots of different smart people talking about interesting things.
Yes.
Yeah, and we'll be back next week and we'll be talking about focused writing. Now we've done focused researching, we're going to do some focused writing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So thanks, Joe.
No worries.
Thanks, listeners.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. You can find links and show notes on the website at moxiebooks.co.uk/podcast, where you can also sign up for the best daily emails in the multiverse and find loads of free resources to help you write your book. We'll be back the same time next week with more tales from the book writing trenches and the latest on what the TinySheeps have been up to.